Nintendo has become one of the most hated companies in recent months, with creators constantly hating on Nintendo and criticizing everything that they do. And these Nintendo hate videos have been seeing massive amounts of views, with top Nintendo hate content literally seeing views in the millions. So what exactly is going on here? Well, in this video, I'm gonna take you through how this negative Nintendo content started, how it's impacted social media, and even some first-hand experience that I have from negative Nintendo content. Because spoiler alert, these videos spread like wildfire. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my final take on what I think of all of this content. Let's get started. Now, before I dive into how all of this got started and what exactly I think of it, I want to make clear the sheer magnitude of views that these hate videos are getting. Take this video from YouTuber Nintendine titled "Nintendo Lied and Nobody Cares." That video managed to get 162,000 views by the time that I'm recording this video. And although the clickbait title definitely has something to do with the large amount of views that video got, that's not even close to the most viral Nintendo hate video. Take this one with another clickbait title called "The Switch 2 is Evil and I'm Tired of Pretending It's Not." And that video got 666,000 views at the time of recording. And despite the irony of that number being exactly what it is, that is a lot of views for a Nintendo video. And whether you believe it or not, Nintendo hate videos can get even more views than that. Because this video from Xander J shows how much toxicity can spread like wildfire. The video titled "I Hate Mario Kart World" in all caps got over 1.4 million views. Now, just to be clear, I'm not hating on any of these videos because they do make some valid points. But 1.4 million views on a video in the Nintendo niche is absolutely crazy. Like, Nintendo related videos don't even get close to this much on a normal basis. But besides the views themselves, there are really good reasons why YouTubers keep making these hate videos, and I'll get to them in a moment. But I first want to take a trip back to where this all started. It's April of 2025 and Nintendo just aired the Switch 2 Direct. Fans are happy that the new console was just announced and they saw an in-depth look at it. But the mood quickly begins to change when people start accessing the Switch 2 website. More specifically, the part about Mario Kart World. Because after scrolling down the page a bit, people realized that Mario Kart World had the unprecedented price of $80. That's where this Nintendo hate trend really started. And that's the point where people were going so wild that we saw some real misinformation like Mario Kart World being $90 in the US for a physical copy. But not too long after that, it was reported that some physical game cards would actually have the data downloaded from the internet, not actually preloaded onto the game card, called game key cards. Now, despite these types of game cards being made specifically for third parties who wanted to cut costs, it was reported as if these were the new standard. And somehow this trend of hating Nintendo has managed to stretch its way throughout 2025. And it seems like there are still negative Nintendo videos that are coming out to this day. But it all makes perfect sense when you think about one factor that I haven't mentioned before. And that factor is money. Remember that video called "Nintendo Lied and Nobody Cares" that I mentioned earlier? Well, a conservative estimate for how much that video would have made would be $400 to $500 from ads alone. The next video titled "The Switch 2 is Evil and I'm Tired of Pretending It's Not," assuming it was fully monetized, likely made around $1,500. And finally, that video titled "I Hate Mario Kart World" that got 1.4 million views could easily have made that YouTuber $5,000. That's quite a lot of money for just ranting about how bad Nintendo is. Now, as a disclaimer, I don't actually know how much those videos made, but that goes to show how much hating Nintendo can actually make a YouTuber. And Nintendo rage bait being popular isn't limited to YouTube. This type of content goes viral on platforms like TikTok and X as well. Now, keep in mind, not all of these videos that I'm mentioning are pure rage bait. Some of them are actually really well thought out and edited. But these inflated view counts aren't limited to big YouTubers because I've actually tested it myself. But real quickly, if you're enjoying this video, would you please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel? It really helps me out. Also, comment down below what you think of these Nintendo hate videos. But getting back to the video, let me tell you about my experience with Nintendo Rage Bait. I've made lots of Nintendo content over the past few months, and I've seen one consistent pattern. Nintendo Rage Bait consistently does well. Take my 10 most recent videos for example. Most of them had pretty solid metrics and were engaging an audience. But then I make a video with the title, "Here's Why Players Hate Mario Kart World Now, Deep Dive." I wouldn't even call that complete rage bait, but it's definitely negative. And out of my 10 most recent videos, it performed 1 out of 10, meaning that overall it got more views. But this hasn't been isolated to my long-form YouTube videos. Shorts have also been performing similarly, because I posted a short with the rage bait title, "Nintendo is allegedly the greediest company on earth," which that title was definitely an exaggeration, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. Because that short still got 23,000 views, which is still above average for my content. And I have several more examples where that came from, but I'm just trying to prove the point that Nintendo hate has been doing really well on YouTube. But now I need to answer the question, what's next for Nintendo content? Well, to figure out what's next for Nintendo content, I think we need to go through some pros and cons of Nintendo Rage Bait continuing. To start, we have the pros, and the first pro is pretty significant, because these Nintendo hate videos are able to generate a lot of cash from ads alone. That means that Nintendo content creators can afford to splurge more on videos because they're making more money off of Nintendo Rage Bait, which means that Nintendo-related YouTube videos could be far higher quality than they were in the past. Secondly, Nintendo does deserve a lot of criticism. $80 Mario Kart and game key cards definitely aren't ideal to see. And the drama of the entire situation can still be good for Nintendo. If these videos are actually getting more views than regular Nintendo content, despite the negative attention, that could mean that more people end up buying their games. But a strong set of pros doesn't go without a strong set of cons, because positive creators do get drowned out by these negative videos. It ultimately means that Nintendo creators have less choice on what type of videos they can make, because if rage bait's the only thing that social media algorithms actually want to push, that means that a lot of content creators might say things that they don't actually believe in the name of money. And that's a really bad thing for viewers, because a lot of people watching these videos just want to know if they should buy a product or not. And if content creators are unfairly criticizing a product, the viewer might not buy it just because the content creator said not to buy it. And that applies to Nintendo content as much as it does to everything else. And false criticism is a real problem when the viewer is putting so much trust in the creator. Another criticism of negative Nintendo content is that being a Nintendo fan just isn't fun when everybody's negative. But let me give you my final take. I do think that a lot of criticism that Nintendo has gotten is justified. $80 for Mario Kart is really pricey, and game key cards, while they have been very over-exaggerated, they are a problem in the preservation of physical media. But it is tiring to see that people keep making videos criticizing Nintendo even 6 months after the Switch 2 was announced. It might be more justified if it was criticism for different games, but we're still seeing videos hating on the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World. But with my final take, that's gonna do it for today's video. Comment down below if you think the Nintendo hate is justified, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I like cheeseburgers. But anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.